wish that this were like here.
Is this recording?
Yeah.
Why?
Because. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Beacon Hills After Dark. The listener letters. It's that time of night. And it is night. Ooh, they're going to just see this. I, of course, am Sticky Keys. Keep your ears peeled for the podcast on, I don't know.
Whatever day it opens.
Someday. It'll come out. I'm going to say Sunday, and if it's before Sunday, consider yourself lucky. And that's Momo over there. Say hi, Momo. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's get to our listener letters.
Makes the more friendly one on camera.
I know. I'm so upset that we never got a hold of Meg. Prayer circle for Meg, you guys. Who knows where she is?
I can tell you where she is. She's at a bar drinking.
Chilling.
Probably babysitting.
Probably babysitting in the bar. She's bottle sitting. Let's see. They commented.
By the way, I told her what I said on the podcast about her last absence, and she just cracked up.
Did she?
Yeah, she's like, it could be true. I was like, no, you're drinking, I know. I just added on everything else.
That is funny. Okay, I had sent some things, and people sent in stuff just for the podcast. Mm-hmm. It said, I don't know if you watched Angel. Which
I did.
I barely did, but Momo did.
No, but the thing is, you didn't watch Buffy, so you totally weren't going to understand Angel.
No, you can understand Angel on its own.
Angel was a separate entity, but the thing is, you still needed to know a lot of things about Buffy to kind of get the sidetrack of it. Angel became its own thing, and I actually like Angel more, but that's a whole different story.
On that show, when the character Fred was rescued from Pelea, she was shown to still be suffering from the effects of spending 5 years trapped in another world, but being treated cruelly. Now, when Malia was found and was shown to be suffering from her time spent as a coyote, it would make so much sense and actually make the character believable to watch.
Exactly, and that's where we come from. They didn't show a damn thing.
Well, and that she wanted to go back to being the coyote. Mm-hmm. She wanted to go back to the forest. I still don't know what happened to that plan, unless it was just Styles. She got dick whipped.
Okay, no. I would have been like, Malia, you're free.
You're free. Give in to the elements. Mm-hmm. Give yourself into the elements.
That's exactly what I would have done. I would have been like, bye.
I like it.
And actually, Fred is one of the best examples of a character who comes in mid-show. And not only is an amazing character and well-written, but she actually suffers through trauma.
That's a girl?
Multiple times, yeah.
Okay.
And she's a Amy Ackers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a character that, like, if you ever want to see, like, something that, like, has to do with trauma and a character who comes from a fantasy world that really deals with stuff, she's a great example. And hence the reason why I want to get you on Buffy so we can watch Angel together.
I know.
Angel's actually really well written.
It is, yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of people that you would know from the show. There's a whole bunch of people that you know from Buffy, but Angel has a whole bunch too.
Yeah, I used to watch episodes, but it'd be at night because I did night audit, and so it'd just be whenever.
But you probably were still confused. Mm-hmm. Plus, Daniel Day-Kim was amazing.
Yeah.
Baby, I loved him. Okay, sorry.
To be honest, I'm annoyed that they're going to make Styles feel guilty about this one death that was done to protect himself, but there are still no repercussions from his time as an Agitsune. One BS speech to Malia, and that's all we got. But now there's this, and he's supposed to feel like the guiltiest thing. Also, because Scott said that they would never kill anyone ever, which, LOL, and what? It's like they're trying to shove all the issues that they had into one season, but not giving it enough time.
Okay.
I do like that they keep trying to race season 4. I'll give them that. I don't mind it. But the problem is, don't make the same mistake in season 5. Like, they have progress.
My thing is that don't erase the previous season. You can always fix it post-season. You can always find a way to kind of fix certain things about stuff.
I don't know that they can fix season 4.
But every show has had a problematic season. Every show I've watched has had some type of problematic season, and there's ways to actually either build from those storylines or a way to correct them in a way. Because Buffy has a season that a lot of people will say is not the best season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 seasons. And you still are able to build from there. You're still able to like certain things from it. And it's the same with Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what season Supernatural's bad season
Right.
was, but we still could come back from that show and be like, they were able to build stuff out of it.
One thing that I have said from the beginning, and we've actually talked quite a bit about this, is that if they won't admit what the problem is, then they try to fix the wrong problems. Mm-hmm. And so things that they know we're visibly upset about, they won't touch those. They're not going to touch Stelia. They're not going to touch, Kira being sidelined and that kind of stuff. But what they'll do is try to fix it in just the opposite way. Oh, you said you want more Kira? Here she is as a villain and as someone that you're going to hate. You said you wanted...
And the thing is that Kira wasn't made to be a villain.
Right.
She really wasn't.
Exactly.
Malia was written in
should
as a
have
villain.
been a villain and would have been wonderful.
She was written in as a villain because you were shady as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Kira was not. The thing is that I still don't agree. Am I the only person who doesn't agree that Scott and the pack? It doesn't make sense that they don't kill.
It doesn't make sense. And someone actually pointed out, like in the first season, the plan to kill Peter. Scott was the one who was supposed to kill Peter. Mm-hmm. And it just ended up being Derek. And Scott was mad about it, Mm-hmm. And when you look at people like Gerard and that mm-hmm. whole plan, and even just killing the Nagitsune, you're going to bite the Nagitsune to separate him from Styles. Which who knows what version of Styles we have. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, there's just no follow through with Styles. Mm-hmm. You don't do check-ins. And he's like, I'm well aware that you're monitoring my mood. But I'm like, why are you upset about that? They should monitor everything you do, and you should be happily giving them samples. I should have a cup of pee from you every single week. So I'm just like, I don't know. It's just this weird...
I've said this multiple times. This is the first Supernatural show where killing doesn't happen by the main people, or like someone else kills for the main character. It's very weird to me.
But they make it into a morality play.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can still have morality and still be a killer.
Right.
I watched Xena.
Especially to protect.
She's dead one for protecting people left and right,
exactly.
But she still killed people. Like, it happened on like every single fantasy show I watched, where someone was a protector. Guess what they did? They killed to protect. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there was consequences to it that were positive. Sometimes there were consequences that were negative. But guess what? You write that into the show and show how that affected everything.
Well, what I would like is if Scott said... You what?
I have a bug bite.
Oh, pobrecita. If Scott is going to say that killing is wrong...
Yeah.
Then I need him to tie it back around and say... The reason it's wrong is because it's going to affect you in a way that's irreversible. Because once again, he is putting these villains and these victims and whoever above his pack.
Because the thing is that the victims are still going to die.
Right.
The thing is that...
which is what we've seen happen time and time again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if they're already going to die, then you need to be... Lydia, or Styles was like, this is all our fault. And Lydia said, this is our responsibility. Mm-hmm. I said, Scott, this is your fault. It's your responsibility to neutralize the situation.
Exactly.
And if that means killing so that no more people get hurt, but you're putting these people in front of your head.
Raj should have been killed.
Yeah, he should have been killed.
He was an evil MFer to both humans and to people.
Killian should have been killed, honestly.
Yeah. And the thing is I'm one of those people that, like, I understand why Killian was allowed to live.
Or at least jailed.
But the thing is, I totally understand. I would have said he should have been jailed more. Because the thing is that, unfortunately, he was that moral guy who ended up going bad. Which happens. You've seen that trope happen before.
But then so was Julia.
Yeah.
Like, Julia Bakari, or Jennifer, had of course, her backstory was fantastic. She, of course, wanted to kill the Alphas. Her problem was killing innocent people to kind of get these sacrifices.
And it made sense that she died.
Right.
But again, the way she died was still kind of screwy.
And then it was through Peter. So I'm like, once again, you're leaving...
Kate should have been killed multiple times. Multiple times.
Oh my goodness.
I was one of those people who was like, Kate can be brought back. And I was like, when they brought Kate back, and I'm like, no, you can kill Kate off again.
Oh, man.
But what did they do? They let her free. And I'm like, no.
Did we talk about this? I didn't tell you about this. Jill Wagner. Maybe I did. Did we talk about how she was at the convention? Mm-mm. And she said that Jeff told her that Kate and Derek were in love. And they were basically the first Scott and Allison because she didn't want to kill him until she found out that he was a werewolf.
What?
I said, that makes Kate insane.
Yeah.
That makes Kate a crazy person.
That does not make any sense
That
at all.
is not a love story. Because I'm like, you're not going to...
Because if you were in love with him and you found out he was a werewolf, you would have been okay with it.
You would have either been okay with it or you would have wanted to hurt him. You burned his whole family down to the ground.
And the thing is that Allison battled with the idea of Scott being a werewolf.
Right, but she still loved him. Girl. I said that was the dumbest thing he could have ever told her. And then I said, why is she spreading? Because her and Ian, they're both so desperate for their characters to be liked.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand
because the way they were written is that they should have been... You should have seen both sides of Kate. Mm-hmm. Kate's that character that could have been very fleshed out, and it could have been a very complicated character. She was, in a way, brainwashed by her father to have this unseating hate of supernatural. And you could have seen the fact that she not only fell in love, like they could have made it a love story and shown you that she herself was affected. And the thing is, she ended up one way. And in a way, this is for Allison to see. You can turn out this way. You can go the opposite way.
That's what they were. That's with what evidently.
Peter, know my thing with Peter is that Peter should have had the redemption arc. He was the prime character for redemption arc. He's one of those characters that we should have seen what drove him to actually hunting down people. Like that's the thing. That's why I say there's so much that doesn't match up with Peter. Like.
He thinks that he was just a normal guy before the fire, but I think that he still had... I love the fanfic version of Peter, where he was, especially pre-fire, where he's still an opportunist. He's still about making, his mark.
That's perfectly fine, but the thing is that he's a lot more complicated than he should have been.
Exactly.
But I think Ian sees him as being a lot more complicated.
And convoluted. I mean, they make him ridiculous.
And the thing is that Peter has his own POV that's completely out there.
Yeah.
But Peter also did a lot of stuff in a way to get back at whoever fucked over his family. Which is, again... We see movies with Denzel Washington doing this. We see movies where these people are anti-heroes and we love them.
Oh yeah, a lot of people love Peter.
We watched 5 seasons of fucking Breaking Bad, and this guy should have technically died freaking first season.
Exactly.
Technically, Peter could have been the same way. He could have been an anti-hero, and we could have seen his perspective a little bit more. But Jeff doesn't know how to actually make villains. And I've seen so many shows where the villains are some of the best parts of the show, where they are so realized that you're just like, if this show didn't have this villain, Well, there seems to be a very formulaic mold that they're trying to pour into that you have to make your villain sympathetic. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't have to make your villain sympathetic. The problem shows don't make their villain sympathetic. But there's a way to do it properly.
That you have with making... Carrick into a love story is that he was underage. Yeah. He was a high school kid. So what is she, as someone in her mid to late 20s, how is she having a love affair with this high school kid? How did she seek him out? With her, it made more sense that she was a setup to actually go into the family. Exactly. And see, that's one thing what I could see. If they had been the same age, I could have seen the falling in love. Well, yeah, if they had been the same age. But I think that what they could have done is said she went after him because she knew he was a werewolf and to kill his family. She fell in love with him. Exactly. Either way it would have worked out fine. Then said... Oh no, I can't love him. He's a werewolf, and then just went overboard. First of all, if we're going to talk about bad guys that you end up feeling sympathetic for, Cylons.
I feel
Oh, yeah.
I totally sympathize with the Cylons.
Oh, definitely.
And there, like I said, there's ways to actually feel sympathetic, and then you have some just outright brutal bad guys where you're just like, fuck them all. Like,
yeah.
Like, Gus on Breaking Bad? I
Gus.
totally sympathize with him.
Gus Dufresne. I did not believe he was dead. I was like, he's coming back.
I
And
know.
I
I was so pissed off.
I was like,
and he had one of the best backgrounds. I was like, this background makes so much sense.
So good.
And it was so sympathetic.
Oh,
and you're like, this explains everything about him.
He said, you get my lover, I get you out. I love it.
And I'm just like, people.
So now this says, if Theo is going to be related to anyone, it should be Liam. I cannot tell you how many times I got those two confused.
Well, one doesn't cry and one does.
And one is like 2 feet tall, and the other is a lot larger. Well, no, they both got muscles. Spray's is ripped.
I haven't seen Sprayberry's muscles yet.
Yeah.
So Sprayberry's been packing on the weights, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing. Wait. Who catches the light better? That's really the question.
Cody.
Is he going to be a young Colton, hopefully?
I think so, but I think that's what Sprays was supposed to be. But for some reason, it's not working, so now they're making him the young Styles. Right. Exactly, the lighting wasn't right. I haven't had this.
That's why I said one's insane, the other one likes to cry. That's how I can tell them apart. Liam hasn't cried really this season. He's had the glisten in his eyes. What's going on with you?
He had a complete personality transplant. Like, they made him Baby Styles with a hint of Scott sentimentality, I guess. I don't know
what's going on
it's
with Liam.
Very... I like it.
I liked Liam the first season he was on.
I didn't care about him at all.
Well, I mean, I didn't care about him either.
I know.
But the thing is that, like, I still kind of like the whole crying fit and his confusion, and then, like, the fact that he just had anger issues for no reason. I was kind of here for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue where it was coming from. I still want to know how the hell he dent a car without being something else.
Girl, I can't even. Let's see.
Who knows what the hell Theo is? We talked about
this.
I dropped my thing.
Oh my.
What?
What
are you even, like, making that noise for? It's on the floor. I'm sad.
Considering he's been called a potential serial killer.
Yay! Theo?
Styles.
Oh yeah, Styles is a
sociopath, a psychopath, and compared to a school shooter for behaving like a normal teenager.
Can I say I've said 3 of these 4 things?
Exactly. I can believe that there are people trashing him for Donovan. Doesn't help that this fandom doesn't know the difference between words and actions and self-defense, and accident and murder. The people who hate Styles go all out.
First of all, I am someone who actually does not really care that much for Styles. Mm-hmm. And I actually agree somewhat with this. Because even I was kind of like, wait, what? Like, I even said Styles did it in self-defense. Like,
yeah,
I didn't see him being, like, malicious or anything. I just said that everything was set up really weirdly and the physicality of everything should never have happened. But
that's what really bugs me about why didn't they just make this... Why didn't they just make it a killing? Like, why didn't they just have him bash him in the head with a wrench? Or do something where Styles was actually intending to put him down?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was an accident. And so I'm like, there's no... Where is the guilt from that coming in? I mean, because what's happening is we're missing out on the actual internal guilt. Mm-hmm. Because this isn't the guilt of a killer. This is the guilt of someone who has killed. And there's a difference. And so I want him to be guilty for that. Not because, oh, I killed someone, but it was in self-defense. No, I want you to be like, oh my God, I took a life. You know, even though I had to, and even though it was justified, and even though no one blames me for it, I took a life. Yeah. And I feel like he's not being given that chance for no one to blame him. Mm-hmm. As I said, it's going to return to season 2 Styles, which was one of the worst Styles, where he's kind of neglected and kind of pushed off to the side. I
still think Styles is a serial killer.
Yeah.
But
no, he's not really a serial killer.
I've always said his obsession has been a little bit off. But my thing is that I just want Dark Styles back.
Yeah.
That was the only intriguing Styles to me. And it makes more sense that, like, every show I've ever seen that's had a character, especially one of the major characters, go to the dark side, they never come back right. And the thing is, you always see the consequences of what went wrong. You always see there's something still left in them. And I cannot believe that Styles is all of a sudden all healed and he's better. And I'm like, I just don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Styles was a little dark and kind of weird when he first started out. He was still a little bit like not normal.
Right.
Him becoming something really dark and kind of creepy and something that was a killer should have been left over in him. Mm-hmm. There's no way he can go back to being Styles that we met in season 1. There really isn't. So to me, it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
It just doesn't mesh up because it's Styles not trusting Scott,
mm-hmm.
and it's Scott not paying attention to Styles.
But Scott doesn't. But this is the thing.
Because you have to go beyond.
Scott, as much as I love Scott,
what's wrong?
Scott doesn't pay attention to this shit.
Yeah.
Because Derek was in Mexico for months, and no one noticed this boy was gone.
But they're brothers, and Derek's part of his pack, and it's like, oh.
He didn't know where the hell. We're lucky he knew where Isaac was. If Isaac wasn't in the house, he probably wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Did he know where Boyd was? No. Did he even notice Boyd and Erica was gone? Think about that for a second. Did they even notice that Boyd and Erica were gone?
They noticed that they were gone, but remember, so the whole scuttlebutt is the first episode of 3A.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, yeah, I spent the summer looking for Boyd and Erica, and then he kind of gives Styles a look, and Styles is like, like, don't say nothing. And so I'm like, Boyd and Erica were gone an entire summer, and Scott did not look for them at all, and did not care to, and did not want to get involved. So.
And then one of them ended up dead, and then later on the other one
ended up dead.
So if we're gonna really talk about it.
Right? Turkish Bacon says, so, according to Scott's logic of we can't kill them, they're the victims, so we help them, every villain gets a pass, as we've seen, because they've all been victims, whether in their own mind or through someone else or circumstance. No matter what damage they do or how many people they turn their evil on. Kate, Gerard, Jennifer, Deucalion, the Alpha Pack, Meredith, Peter, blah, blah, blah.
I still don't believe Meredith was actually...
I'm so mad about that.
That was such
another reason why season 4 was trash.
Yeah, that was such an F. That was just a cop-out.
In Scott's world, you can kill all you want, but he'll be the one to forgive, protect, and help you. Ridiculous. And yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I can't even, Yeah. I'm sorry, out of all those characters, Meredith is still the only one that actually was a cop-out. Because the thing is that there was nothing wrong with Meredith to actually just be someone that you actually could build up on. She was the only other Banshee that you even introduced. Like, there was just so much potential with her, and then they made her a villain. And I was just like, this makes no sense. They want to be
shocking, but literally none of that made sense.
It didn't.
For her
The other characters actually made sense to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Meredith made no sense.
None. And it made me... She had so much potential specifically with Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
And they just were like, no.
I mean, we've been waiting seasons for a Lydia Banshee storyline. And they keep saying she's going to finally learn from a Banshee. So when they introduced Meredith, all of us were like, hold up. She's a Banshee. We all figured it out when Styles was at the fucking mental ward. And we're just like, holy shit, that's the Banshee that's going to teach Lydia. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're going to make her evil. Why? There was no freaking reason to. It made no sense. And that's a character who got screwed over. Like, I talk about characters getting screwed over, but if anyone, she's probably my number one screwed over character.
Yeah.
Because, she really, it was not deserved.
So it says the only thing that kept Scott from killing is plot armor. Gerard was basically a murder plot. The bite kills or turns, and the mountain ash was so he'd reject it. But Gerard is still alive because plot, and crusty white dudes never die if Jeff can help it. Every time Scott would have had to make a choice, someone does it for him.
Which is true.
Derek, Peter, Deucalion, all killed so Scott wouldn't get his hands bloody.
Pretty much.
It's not that he's against killing, it's that the show is afraid to let him.
Which is so weird because there's so many fantasy shows that are not afraid of letting their hero
Exactly.
kill. Because again, you can be a hero and protect people and still kill.
It says, I can handle a hero who doesn't kill and wants to help and save everyone when it's done right. Scott isn't done right, and he's done hypocritically. He's wanted to kill before, exactly, and keeps needing the great power, the great responsibility speech, but he gets credit for everyone's heroics he had nothing to do with. If they did him as a regular kid in over his head and trying to do the right thing like in season 1, instead of this paragon of virtue who everyone should aspire to be turned into, it'd make more sense. I wanted to follow that stupid goofy kid from season 1 and see him grow into a leader they were obviously going to make him. Unfortunately, with the true alpha, they skipped all the steps to make me care and develop his character. Wait, hold on, almost done. And they did this by tearing others down and praising him for what he didn't do instead of for what he did. They shortchanged his character development just as much as they did everyone else's.
Actually, what's really funny is I was actually talking to someone else about the True Alpha thing, and we actually said the True Alpha thing should have came later.
Yeah.
We said it came
really almost
too
after
early.
this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to get the True Alpha, he needed to go through true adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And his adversity, breaking through Mount Ash, means nothing to him as a human. It means nothing to us as a thing. It just means something that he can do better
I
than
would
the
understand
Hales.
if he became a True Alpha after season 3B, after what happened with Styles. I would have understood it during season 4. Like, I think this season would have been the best season.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things that had happened I did not understand. Like, I would have understood the Alpha Pack coming because they understood him being the potential True Alpha and him learning about it, but them not showing it happen yet. And then it would have been one of those things where they kept hinting to it, but then you're kind of forgetting about it, and then it happens. And, like, for them to actually do it the same season when it first got hinted to, I would have been like, no.
Well, then, again, for them to do it so sloppily. Mm-hmm. Don't give us the notion of a True Alpha and we have no idea what it means. Because for a long time
that True Alpha could levitate, but that never happened.
Well, exactly. And then I thought, okay, True Alpha, the only thing a True Alpha means is that you could become Alpha without having to kill from it. Mm-hmm. But then it kind of became this, now you can break through Mountain Ash, and now you can heal people, evidently. And it's just a weird... The fact that they still haven't talked about that is strange to me, too. Because that's still pretty... That's a big deal.
I just wish that they had, like, a better... Like...
I wish they cared. I feel like they just don't care. Or they go in and out of caring. I feel like we're stuck in a tug-of-war between us and the network. Mm-hmm. And they want to screw over the network, but they need to give us just a good enough show so that people keep watching so that they can get back at the network.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm like, if they actually had a show Bible, I don't believe Jeff has one. Mm. I think that he took some pages from, like, his printer.
Scribbled on them with a big old crayon.
He probably drew some picture when he was high. When he was high. And then he put it into a notebook and wrote on a notebook, Show Bible.
Right. But it was like SHOWE. And then Bible wasn't spelled all the way out because he couldn't, like, physically, his soul would not let him. They're like, don't even write Bible, you know better than this.
And then only he can touch it, so that way he's the only one who actually knows how to see it.
Ryan with Cupcake says, I'm so annoyed that Donovan's entire beef with the sheriff is that his dad was too stupid to wait for backup in a dangerous situation.
Dr. Ryan, I love you.
Like, really? Exactly.
Pretty much.
Like, yes. Yeah. This so much. And now he can't even pee straight.
And from Donovan's point of view, he can't do anything else either.
I can't even jack him off good. I'm like, what is that? What are you trying to tell us, Donovan?
I was going to say,
I'm a little scared for Donovan.
I think Donovan's answers, that speech was still one of the best things about the episode, but it made no sense when you watch it the second time around. You're just like, wait, what? I just wanted Styles to open, like, after, like, the second or third bitch moment, I wanted Styles to kind of peep his head out and be like, girl.
Yeah, oh my God.
Like,
because Styles looked like he was ready to put up some dukes. He was like, God damn. And he was cowering behind the shelf, so it kind of made what Donovan was saying super true, and he was just like, I hate you so bad. I loved it. I was here for that whole thing.
I was kind of here for more, like, Donovan, like, that was one of those moments where it needed to be, honestly, the sheriff to take Donovan down.
Mm-hmm.
And not Styles. Because so much of that had to do with Sheriff. And Sheriff's nowhere near.
I eat sandpaper.
What?
I eat sandpaper.
Okay.
Says my question for the podcast would be, how are they getting away with barely mentioning characters that are still alive but haven't been seen? Where's Peter? What's the excuse for Coach? Anyone here from Argent? Where's Danny?
First of all, we all know what happened to Danny. He got screwed over.
But where is he on the show? Is he in London doing an exchange program with Jackson? Or did he move to France with Isaac?
He probably went to London. But knowing them, they would have said, oh, he went to Hawaii or the Polynesian Islands. Like,
that boy's downtown on a street corner talking about $5 for some, or no, $20, or $5 for some head, $20 I'll let you get it raw. $50
Don't you
take
dare
me
do that
home.
to my baby. Don't you dare do that to my baby.
He's got to set that price list. We talk about
Danny is probably somewhere in Japan, like, living his life.
Okay,
He's a technology freak. He would go to
speaking Japanese.
He did everything else, didn't
he? Kira evidently doesn't.
He did every single thing else. So you know what? And Danny was like, you know what? I ain't about this monster life.
He said, I'm not about this monster life.
Peter's no longer in the mental ward. Did he escape? Or Valak ate him. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Peter's a survivor, so I think Peter was like, I'm going to steal these keys. And
he had his own, he was like, Lydia! And she said, ah! And he was like, yeah. And then he got out that way.
He went to his own room. Why didn't they go visit Peter? That's my thing. I'm like, you're in the same place that Peter's supposed to be at. Why didn't you go visit him? Argent is like, fuck all you hoes. If I see you one more time, I'm gonna kill all of you.
Rocks. Argent said, you killed my baby girl. My sister's running around the forest like a goddamn freak. And like a half jaguar, desert wolf, La Loba bone woman.
And my dad is spitting up black blood.
And my daddy's spitting up black blood. And Sissy got all these Chippendale berserkers running around with bow tie.
He's just hanging out at graveyard.
Scantily cut, basically.
And then Coach, you know, since he broke his
Girl, Coach said, I got to go. Coach called up Harley. And he was like, hey girl, your school needs some new coaches.
I was
she
gonna
said,
say,
come on, Bobby.
he fell off the bandwagon. He's back in rehab.
15, yes, Bobby.
And if not, once he got stabbed, I think his turning point was once he got stabbed in the stomach with an arrow.
Yep.
He was just like, you know what? This job doesn't pay enough for me.
He said, F this noise.
He was like, these students don't listen to me when I'm in class. This team barely plays. He's like, I need to get...
And then when they do play, we don't be finishing games. They just stop because of some natural disaster.
Something always happens.
Mess.
So he was just like, and you know what? This is getting me either really close to drinking or maybe I already did drink. I don't even know anymore because I almost died. So he's like, I am leaving town. I am packing my bags. I will see you somewhere else by Beacon Hills. And he ran in his car and he left.
Yep.
And that is the truth. I think every single one of them, except for Peter, left town. Peter's like, you know what? I have a downtown apartment.
She said, peace out.
I can just chill there. So, there you go. That's your answer.
We talked about this, but I did want to say, Lydia X. Martin, when do you think Jeff is going to go... Oh, where do you think Jeff is going to go with Kira's storyline and this sudden loss of control and her spirit trying to break free? Also, what do you think about Styles and Donovan's scene? Do you think Jeff will address what Donovan said about Papa Stalinsky and Styles' growing guilt and what appears to be a mental breakdown and possibly Dark Styles, which I'm always here for. Dark Styles is everything. P.S. Love the podcast, guys. Keep the shade coming. I love it. Yay.
Love you too,
Thank
Lydia.
you, darling.
X Martin.
Lydia X Martin.
Well, I've already said my thing. I'm pissed off at everything with Kira's storyline because they actually they just need to develop her better. Like, there's no reason for her to be going towards any type of villain thing, and hopefully they don't. Because she really wasn't written to be a villain. Second of all, I've said this several times, and I did just say this on the podcast. They needed to do the 9/12 Fox properly, and they're not doing it at all. Even image-wise, it is not proper.
They're not even trying, yeah.
I think Jeff did his whole, I wanted to Wikipedia this. I didn't even decide to go to a library and, you know, open a few books and actually learn about anything that had to do with 9/12 Fox from any culture. So, I've explained several times that there's so many things that are problematic about this whole storyline with her that it's messy. Everything from her spirit trying to break free to just the image itself and the type of powers that she has. It's just, I'm getting pissed off about it. What was the other thing? I think we may...
something about Donovan's dad. Someone did mention it. I said, I do think that Styles is going to go for that file. I think he's going to try to pull the dad's file.
I think it's going to cause because we've already seen this kind of like chipping away at the relationship between Celestia and Stunn, which is so sad for their service because I love their detective scenes.
Right.
But I'm thinking that he's going to go for the foul. He's going to realize that there was something wrong with it, and he's going to break off from his dad. I think this is going to be something that's going to shatter their relationship. I don't want it to, because I really do like their parent, child relationship, but I think this is going to happen, and I'm going to be sad about it. I won't cry, but, I'll feel something.
I feel a certain kind of way about it.
I just kind of wish they had kept Donovan in a little bit more just to kind of dig this out a little bit more.
Just to dig it out, yes.
But they're lazy and they probably couldn't afford the kid anymore.
Probably.
What was the other part, the last part of it?
Well, that was mostly it. We got through that and we talked about it on the podcast,
everything else we talked about on the podcast. Hopefully listen to the podcast and you'll hear the rest.
Yes. Someone says, does it feel like the crux of Styles' guilt is going to be about Scott and not Styles' own issue with it? Because it feels as though they set it up that way. Also, F. Scott and his dumb no-killing philosophy that actually causes more deaths and tragedy than anything else in Beacon Hills.
I said that too. I was like, this causes way more death in this damn show.
Donovan's death was such a cop-out.
Yep.
I would have been alright with Styles actually killing him in self-defense because he doesn't have the strength to escape and keep himself alive, but it was an accident. Mm-hmm. It was such a... I don't understand their need to do it like that. I don't get it.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Styles' guilt is about Sky.
Yeah.
Especially since
that Scott is projecting that, no, we can't kill anyone because he can't kill anyone.
And that, I think that will be another conflict. And they're having their little issue anyway, so that's going to chip away at them too.
Yeah, shows me.
I still don't like this whole Sky can't kill anyone thing. That bugs me so much.
All right, I think there was one. I think that
We need one more.
Well, yeah, my strawberry. I can never remember her name.
Oh, Strawberry Fandom. Strawberry.
Wait, hold on.
I know her name because Strawberry Gum Bubblegum.
Something like that. Okay. Claxicon had sent one in, but we kind of talked about it on the show, and I want to save it for next week. Dang it. Maybe I answered her on the page.
Actually, I was going to message her because I was going to try to get several people to kind of talk you into watching certain shows. So, I feel like if they are the ones to recommend the shows, you would finally watch it.
Oh, no, it's just...
Instead of me trying to recommend the show.
Well, maybe I'm going to watch
the Sense 8 show. I'm going to watch it.
Oh, yeah. I can't find the first 2 episodes of the season of Supernatural. It's driving me crazy. It's on nowhere. I thought it was going to be on DirecTV. Yep. It's not on DirecTV. It's on demand.
Do you want me to check me out?
Yeah, check yours. Because then I might come over and watch the first couple of episodes.
I wouldn't mind rewatching certain episodes. It was actually really good. I liked the season. Not everyone liked the season, but I liked the season. I thought it was actually a very good one.
I think next week... I thought next week was supposed to be the flashback episode, but I'm not sure.
Isn't all this a flashback, though?
I'm sorry, like, for Baby Posey and Baby... Like, we're supposed to see them at 10.
In a flashback?
Girl. Someone kept mentioning time travel, and so people were like, no, it's not time travel, it's a flashback. But I said, I bet they're going to try to put time travel in this.
I mean, they just keep selling from Doctor Who anyway, they might as well.
Basically. All right, I think that's it. Are you going to give us an actual sign off tonight? Say
guess.
goodnight, Momo.
Now you guys have seen my face. I should put makeup on next time.
You have on makeup and it's very pretty.
Yeah, but this isn't me when I'm actually in my job, actually doing my makeup stuff. So
I was
kinda
going to put on
playing-
lipstick and then I was like, I don't care about you hoes.
See, at least I
Why don't
try
you put
to
up
be nice.
lipstick for me?
At least I try to be nice.
Don't you look at me in that tone of voice. Bye, everybody. We'll see you. Good night.
Bye.